Hello, Honor Chem students. I just wanted to do a quick video kind of recapping what the Paul Anderson video said when we're talking about delta G. And the first thing I want to talk about is that idea if the two natural states are where nature prefers them. So if we look at something like this right here, the delta H being negative, which means it's exothermic, and we know that most reactions prefer an exothermic value, so that will happen on its own. And we know that if the entropy is increasing, then the delta G from this equation, if you think about it, if this is negative and this delta S is negative or positive, because you're multiplying it times this term really right here, right? You will always end up with a negative delta G. So that is always going to happen. So this reaction will always be what we call spontaneous, compared to we're going to go look at this bottom one that we have here. So now if we look at the delta H being positive, and that being that the reaction it takes energy in from the surroundings to make the reaction happen, and the entropy is becoming more ordered, then this reaction here, I'm going to move me for a minute, this reaction will never be spontaneous. So we call that non-spontaneous. That means it won't happen on its own. Does it mean that we can't force it to happen? No, we can. Actually, we have to put energy into this reaction to make it happen. But the question really does become, what happens when you have something like here, like an endothermic reaction in terms of delta H, the way nature does not prefer it, and then you have something like here, it becomes more random, which is the way nature does prefer it. Then it depends, okay? And it also depends as well as if it's exothermic, and the reaction also doesn't happen. Let me move this to a red line here. The reaction also, the entropy wants to become more order. It depends. And what it depends upon is that temperature value that you have with your delta G. So looking forward, you might want to consider and kind of just as a result, whether or not a reaction will be spontaneous. And so a reaction will be spontaneous if here you've got a delta G that is negative. That means the reaction is going to be spontaneous. The reaction is going to happen on its own. If you have a reaction that is a delta G ends up being positive, we say that the reaction is non-spontaneous. And we can favor what it means when a reaction is actually favored. What can that possibly mean? Well, if the reaction is favored, it means that if it's favoring the products, that means the reaction is spontaneous. So if you think about that reaction going to happen, it means it's favoring products. If a reaction doesn't happen, it means the reactants are favored. Okay, so the last thing that I want to go over with you, and this is what your homework problems are going to be like, is how do you calculate with a Gibbs free energy equation? Okay, so here you've got a chemical process going on. This is sulfur dioxide, which is a gas that can happen in the atmosphere. When that reacts with oxygen, it can make this sulfur trioxide, which is a precursor to acid rain. And if we knew the delta H value for this reaction, see how it's at negative 98.9 kilojoules per mole? And then very common, the delta S value for this reaction, very common. Do you notice that this has a unit of joules per mole Kelvin? And if we were to put this into the Gibbs free energy equation, we're doing a big no-no unless we change this to kilojoules per mole. So that's kind of a common mistake that kids make. So don't be that that kid, okay? So make sure if you're looking at your units and you're making sure that you have like units on your unit of energy. Now, if we take a look at this, do you notice how this is an exothermic process the way nature likes it? But this is representing that entropy is actually decreasing. And in case that is really true, look at this reaction. See how you have 3 moles of oxygen on this side compared to 3 moles of gas on this side compared to 2 moles of gas. So do you see how the entropy is decreasing? And that's being shown by this negative value right here. So the question becomes, what would be the delta G if this temperature was at 25 degrees C? Okay, so you're going to plug this into the Gibbs free energy equation, and I pre-wrote this out, and it's a little messy, but I think you guys can follow along. Now, because this unit in temperature is in Kelvin, we've got to convert the temperature to Kelvin as well, and I just went ahead and did that in my head, and that comes out to be like 298 Kelvin. So I am plugging in what I know. I know the delta H, and again, especially for the test, you guys know my mantra: show the equation, show the substitution, do your math and your algebra well, show the answer with the units. That's what I'm looking for. So here, we know the delta H is a negative 98.9 kilojoules per mole. And then I kind of bracket this T delta S so that I make sure I do my algebra correctly. This is the temperature of 25 degrees C. I added 273 to get that into Kelvin. And then this is the delta S value, but notice I converted that into kilojoules. 0.094 kilojoules per mole. So when I do this work, I end up getting so I just brought down the negative 98.9 kilojoules per mole minus, because that's this minus here, when I take 298 and multiply that times a negative 0.094, I get a negative 28.0 kilojoules per mole. And I notice that I should have a end parentheses here. So I'm going to try putting that in. There's the end parentheses for it. Okay. So this work right here is what gives me that negative 28.0 kilojoules per mole. And then when I take a negative times a negative, that becomes a positive. So it's going to be negative 98.9 plus 28.0, okay? And that will end up giving me a negative 70.9 kilojoules per mole, which will end up being spontaneous because the delta G is negative. So that's what your worksheet will have. Some problems like that using very simple, what we call Gibbs free energy equation. I hope that helps. Have a great day.